Life improved for Milkman enormously after he began working for Macon. Contrary to what his father hoped, there was more time to visit the wine house. Running errands for Macon's rent house gave him leave to be in Southside and get to know the people Guitar knew so well. Milkman was young and he was friendly, just the opposite of his father, and the attendants felt at ease enough with him to tease him, feed him, and confide in him. But it was hard to see much of a Guitar. Saturdays were the only days he was inclined to him. If Milkman got up early on Saturday morning, he'd catch his friend before Guitar went, roaming through the streets, and before he himself had to help Macon collect rents. But there were days in the week when they agreed to skip school and hang out, and on one of those days, Guitar took him to Feather's Pool Hall on 10th Street, right in the middle of the blood bank area. It was 11 o'clock in the morning when Guitar pushed open the door and shouted, "Hey, Feather, give us a couple of red caps." Feather, a short, squat man with sparse but curly hair, looked up at Guitar, then at Milkman, and frowned. "Get him out of here." Guitar stopped short and followed Lynn McGill's McMahon's face. And back again. The half-dozen men there playing pool turned around at the sound of Feather's voice. It's so weird. I was like a kid. Three of them were Air Force pilots, part of the 332nd Fighter Group. Their beautiful hats and gorgeous leather jackets were carefully arranged on chairs. The hair was cut close to the skull. Their shirt scuffs were neatly tied back. On their forearms, their white scarves hung in a snowy rectangle from their hip pockets. Silver chains glistened at their necks, and they looked faintly amused as they worked chalk into the tip of their cues. Guitar's face shone with embarrassment. "He's with me," he said. "I said get him out of here." "Come on, Feather, he's my friend. He's making dead boy, ain't he?" "So what? So get him out of here. You can't help who his daddy is." Guitar had his voice under control. "Neither can I. Out." "What did his daddy do to you?" "Nothing yet. That's why I want him out of here. He ain't like his daddy. He ain't got to be like him. From him is enough. I'll be responsible for stop messing with me, Guitar. Get him out. He ain't old enough to have wet dreams." The pilots laughed, and a man in a gray straw hat with a white band said, "I'll let the boy stay, Feather. You shut your mouth. I'm running this." "What harm can he do? A 12-year-old kid?" His brother Milkman stopped himself saying, "No, 13. But it ain't your problem, is it? His daddy ain't your landlord, is he? And you ain't got no operating license to hang on to either. You ain't got nothing."
Feather turned on the man with the white hatband the same acid manner he used with the boys. Guitar took the opportunity offered by Feather's new target to shoot his hand out like a double-eared hatchet slamming into a tree and shout, "Later for you, man. Come on, let's shake this place." His voice now was loud and deep, loud enough to and deep enough for two. Milkman slid his hands into his back pocket and followed his friend to the door. He stretched his neck a little to match the chilly height he hoped the shoulders had seen in his eyes. Silently they ambled down 10th Street until they reached a stone bench that jutted from the sidewalk near the curb. They stopped there and sat down, their backs on the eyes of the two men in the white smocks who were watching them. One of the men leaned in the doorway at the barber shop. The other sat in a chair tilted back on the plate glass window of the shop. They were owners of the barber shop, Railroad Tommy and Hospital Tommy. Neither boy spoke, not to the men nor to each other. They sat and watched the traffic go by. Have all the halls of Academine crumbled, Guitar? Hospital Tommy spoke from the chair. His eyes were milky, like those of very old people, but the rest of him was firm and lithe and young-looking. His tone was casual, but suggested authority nonetheless. "No, sir," Guitar answered him over his shoulder. "Then what, pray, are you doing out here in the streets at this time of day?" Guitar shrugged. "We just took a day off, Mr. Tommy." "And your companion? Is he on sabbatical too?" Guitar nodded. Hospital Tommy talked like an encyclopedia, and Guitar had to guess at the most of his words. Milkman kept looking at the cars going by. "Neither of you appears to be having fun of your holiday. You could have stayed in the halls of S&M and looked evil." Guitar fished for a cigarette and offered one to Milkman. "Feather made me mad is all." "Feather?" "Yeah. He wouldn't let us in. I go in there all the time, and he don't say nothing, but today he throws us out. Said my friend here is too young. Can you beat that? Feather? Worrying about somebody's age? I don't know. Feather had so much as a brain cell to worry with. He don't. Just showing off is all. He wouldn't let me have a bottle of beer." Railroad Tommy laughed softly from the doorway. "Is that all? He wouldn't let you have a beer?" He rubbed the back of his neck and then crooked a finger at the Guitar. "Come over here, boy, and let me tell you something about other stuff you are not going to have. Come on over here." Reluctantly, they stood up and slided closer to the laughing man. "You think that's something, not having a beer? Well, let me ask you something. You ever stood stock still in the gallery of the Baltimore, Ohio dining car in the middle of the night when the kitchen closed down and everything's neat and ready for the next day? and the engine's highballing down the track, and 3 of your buddies is waiting for you with the brand new deck of cards. Guitar shook his head. No, I never. That's right, you never, and you're never going to. That's one more thrill you're not gonna have, let alone a bottle of beer. Guitar smiled. Mr. Tommy, he began, but Tommy cut him off. You never pull 14 days straight and come home to a sweet woman, clean sheets, and a fifth of wild turkey, eh? He looked at Milkman. Did you? Milkman smiled and said, no, sir. No. Well, then don't look forward to it, 'cause you're not gonna have that either.